Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to AOR India. We've got the pole lap coming right up, and it's not a particularly fantastic lap. I do have PB of about 4 tenths quicker, and I know that the rest of the field also has some much better PB times. So, pretty underwhelming session, but nevertheless, obliged to show the lap. Pretty good first sector, I would say, although I am a bit down on my time when we get to the sector split. This long straight gives a lot of time to think about how well the first 3 turns went. Bit of a lock up there. That's really where we lose a lot of our time in this particular sector, completely missing the apex. You can see almost 3 tenths down. We're going to have to make that up in the next couple of sectors, and that was quite nice through that chicane there. Almost nailing that one, but then a bit wide. It's one of my favourite corners in the whole calendar, this one, and went quite nicely through that time. Not quite full throttle as usual though. I screwed this one up on the previous run, but that one was much better than my first attempt. Down through the gearbox into second for this corner, nicely apexed. And finally, the left hand hairpin of the final corner. Good traction. So that should be 24.7. And that was good enough to hang on to pole position by just a tenth over Chris. And championship rival Nozem is third. Choosing to start on options this time. So quite happy with that pole position, despite the fact that it could have been a little bit quicker. And on to the race. If practice sessions were anything to go by, this is going to be a very hairy first complex for me, especially with the laggy starts. Hoping to hang it around the outside and just get away. That's really my only hope. And we'll find out that on the forums, in fact, that my lag was a bit worse this race than usual, and that I was completely off the track at some points when I never was, in my perspective. So, pretty good start there, in fact, and we have gone wide on purpose to try and avoid any deep braking, but we have an advantage, which means we can take this corner exactly how we like and set off into the distance, hopefully. And Chris and Nozem battled for the second position. By the end of the second lap, we have a 4.4 second advantage because the battle for second is it's massive, basically. It's a huge battle. Nick No Name down to, well, there's a lot of cars in that train we can see. I think there's about 7 cars in it. And by the end of lap 4, it leads up to 7.7 seconds because we've had one person pit, and Herbie Rides again has made his way up to second. And at the end of lap 5, it's time for us to pit, because these options don't really last that long. And keeping in mind that Don Silva has set down a hat-eating challenge of option, prime option for the winner, I wanted to stretch each of these stints as long as possible, and in fact not come out in the middle of the traffic either. So there's 2 reasons to stretch the pit stops. Come out second behind Nozem, who's probably going to have to pit the next lap. As we see here, oh, we're not going to pit. Oh, he does decide to pit at the last second. And, well, that was a very interesting pit entry anyway. But, yeah, he made 6 laps on the options, which is more than anyone else, I believe. That's the fastest lap of the stint, 28.1. As we stretch the advantage to the guys behind, 10 seconds in the end of lap 7. Pitting at the end of lap 14 for another set of prime tyres. These ones will need to last us 10 laps if we want to meet Don Silva's challenge. And fastest lap of the stint, 26.6. Now at this point we have a 19 second advantage, so clearly we can probably go a few extra laps on the next stint so we can get that option stint at the end. We go a bit wide on the pit entry because these tyres are not particularly great. And on with the option tyre. outside cameras. What? Okay. I decided to put in the actual fastest lap since there wasn't many highlights for me this race. And in the meantime, I'll explain why this video is up late, and also my dedication of this race win. It's because my dad's currently going through cancer treatment for a rare form of throat cancer, which is not for smoking. In fact, he's a non-smoker. And he's about halfway through the chemo and radiotherapy, and he's been admitted to hospital for trouble eating. So that's why I've had to delay this. I've been back and forth to hospital visiting him. And the win of this race is dedicated to him, and I hope he will get better soon, be able to return home, or at least make it through the next couple of weeks to the end of his treatment. So thanks for understanding, guys, why this was up late, and yeah, my thoughts with him. Anyway, as we continue, this is the actual fastest lap of the race on the option tyre. That's probably why it was much quicker than everyone else, because I don't think anyone else finished on the option tyre. Most people were choosing to do option prime, I think. And yeah, the gap to Chris is really extending now. It's up to 14 seconds, and he's got a pretty good margin over nozem because he managed to escape the battle behind due to the fact he was actually Chris was almost as quick as me, if not as quick as me, once he got out of the traffic. But by that time I already had pretty significant margin. And nozem did a fantastic job to come back up to third after spinning early in the race. And then we get good luck for the race from Keen. Well, thanks. And there's about one lap to go. So that's good lap for next week. I'll try and use that luck then. And yes, we're about to finish the race, and we've got a Sauber hoping to let us through, so they don't have to complete the last lap probably. And that is the 7th victory of the season. Very happy with this one. Takes my championship lead to 21.
Absolutely brilliant. Well done, well done.
So thanks to everyone for watching. I've been Jacko, and once again, this race win is attributed to my father. See you guys.